I was definitely way over prepared for the interview. My interviewer actually he called me to tell me I got the job and he's like, "Dude, you blew that out of the water." And I was like, "What?" Like, really? He's like, "Dude, you blew that out of the water. Like, we'd love to have you." And I was like, "Send over the offer and I'll send it back."
Hey everyone, really excited to speak with Justin this week, who recently broke into CDW, actually in the office as we speak right now. So in the middle of onboarding and drinking from the fire hose. But Justin, obviously congrats, but I would love you to kind of set the stage on your background before breaking into tech sales, and we'll start to break it down from there.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. And yeah, I still haven't left work yet. I'm still right here in the right in the heart of it. But yeah, so I pretty much I just broke into tech sales about a week and a half ago. I'm right in the middle of onboarding and stuff. It's been an amazing experience so far. Just kind of going back and to how I got here. Um, Entrepreneurship and everything like that has been pretty much a part of my life for a really long time. Kind of just grew up with it. Parents were involved with it, and just been surrounding me for my entire life. And in high school, I kind of, got to get my share of it, and joined a couple business classes, and did some door knocking. As a young kid, getting the door slammed in my face, telling me to kick rocks, trying to sell. I think it was satellite or solar, one of the two. I think I alternated between the two, but just a 15-year-old trying to sell a family on solar, it was not happening. But it was, that was my first time dealing with rejection, and it was more fun than, like degrading. So that was my first taste of sales. And then, yeah, just straight out of my senior year of high school, I started working and was grateful to get my foot in the door at a really good company and met some great mentors and great leaders and stuff that really helped me hone in my skills and helped me develop really good people skills, sales skills, management skills, just honestly all of the above. And I just kind of found myself in the project management position. Wasn't something that I necessarily wanted to do. I've always wanted to do sales. I've always been really good at it. I've always had really good people person skills. I just like to chat and just make friends with everybody, just in my blood. Um, and so it kind of came to the point where I was like, you know what, I think it's time for a transition. And so just like everybody does, you start, researching, YouTubing. It's kind of the day and age that we live in. And yeah, I think I just went on Indeed and was just looking at what jobs are available and stuff like that, what's hot on the market. And I came across tech sales and I was like, this seems interesting. I've always been a tech whiz and I love sales, so it kind of just like stuck out to me. And as soon as I punched that in YouTube, here was Eric right front and center, and I was like, "What's this guy got to say?" And then I started watching the videos, and then just kept going, kept going, kept going, and it's kind of funny now watching all those videos, and now here I am giving my, case study on the higher levels and you guys and how you guys have helped me.
No, that's awesome, man, and love to hear it. And yeah, obviously, great to have you here on the other side of it all. I'd love to know too,
Yep.
like kind of on that note, right? So you start to understand a little bit about tech sales. You start to set your sights on it. Did you go about anything yourself before investing in formal training? Like, did you start sending out applications or try anything before ultimately deciding on training?
No, I didn't start submitting applications yet because I was still in my current role, and I was just trying to figure out what is my next step. What is the next thing that I'm going to try and get my foot in? And as soon as I started researching tech sales, I just like went down the rabbit hole of just like everything about it and you know how much success you can find if you put in the hard work and the time that you can find you know real success and stuff. And I just wanted to kind of gain as much knowledge on it as I could before I started submitting applications and kind of stepping on my own toes and getting in my own way about it. I wanted to be methodical about it.
No, I love it, Justin. And huge congrats just to all the success that you've had and just like going through this journey. You obviously landed an awesome logo as well. So super stoked for you, man. And all credit to you. I guess like when you were in that mode of saying, hey, I'm going to go ahead and invest in some training for myself, were you looking at any other courses? And what was it specifically that like made you say, oh, higher levels is awesome, right? I know that Eric had a pretty significant presence on YouTube back when you were looking, but I guess like, was there anything about the program specifically that made you say, you know what, I think I'm going to trust these guys with my hard-earned money, and I'm
Right.
going to give this a shot?
Yeah, I think Course Careers is like one that everybody runs into when they first start diving into tech sales. And that was the first one that I was hit with. And obviously, I wanted to do more research before I just shoveled out a bunch of money. So, yeah, I mean, I ended up running into Eric's YouTube channel and just listening to a bunch of the case studies on people talking. And what stuck out to me was you know, it was very personable. Like you guys like reached out to them and like worked one on one with them. Like you guys were consistently a resource for them, like 24/7 pretty much. It felt like, and that's just kind of what I picked up from the case studies. And the other companies, I just didn't really feel like that was super prevalent. And it's something that's super important to me because as someone that's transitioning into a whole different field, I'm gonna need that you know one-on-one, that those resource I need as much resources as I can get. And I just felt like higher levels really offered that. And I obviously I just like loved watching the videos that Eric was putting out, and just the way that he was teaching and conversing with these people. I was like, I like this guy. I like this guy. I'll give him my money.
I love that. I love that. Well, good job, Eric. Kudos to you.
5
Yeah,
stars.
yeah, and I guess on the other side of it all, Justin, like once you had gone through the program, or maybe like once you joined the program, what do you feel like was the most valuable part of the program to you? Like, was there one section where you felt like, oh, you know what, this was like a game changer for me, or this really like helped me out? I think we spoke a little bit about this before we got on. You mentioned
Mhm.
interviews, but even apart from that, like what really helped you ultimately get this job in the end?
Well, yeah, definitely going through the academy, just kind of picking up on, the introduction to this role, like account manager, SDR, BDR, just kind of the introduction, and you really breaking it down. Like, this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be picking up the phones. You're going to be prospecting. Um, and here's some tips and tricks to kind of help you with that. Obviously, no one has the one key that fits all the locks. Like, it's going to be like trial and error type stuff, but you guys did really good at, giving your guys' best tips and best advice, and really leave it up to the person to make it their own and find their success in it. Um, the cold call scripts and the email scripts I thought were super solid. I haven't had the chance to use them yet because I'm still in the middle of onboarding, but I've got them printed out, locked and loaded in my backpack, waiting for the day that I get to pick up the phone and start prospecting or anything like that. But kind of leading up to this point, the uh, the interviews, the interview section of the academy, where you guys did the live interviews and kind of answered questions and then explained like why you gave that answer. And it's pretty funny because I think 4 days before my first interview here at CDW, you guys had released a like hour-long YouTube video of like top 25 uh, interview questions and answers. And I like ran over to my girlfriend. I was like, "You wouldn't believe what they just dropped on YouTube." And she's like, "What?" And I told him. She's like, "Talk about timing." And so yeah, I just watched that video maybe 5 times, and then as well as in the academy, I listened to those like you guys' live interviews where you guys just kind of broke it all down, no less than 5 times each, and just drilled it into my head. And it really helped me formulate, how to properly answer the questions, and like, uh, just the formality of answering the questions and how to really, you know, act during the interview and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love the obsession, to be honest. Like, I think, yeah, I see some of our students just really obsess over it, and so much can happen so quickly too. So Love
Yeah.
it. I guess maybe said another way too, like throughout your interview process, I'm always curious because, I didn't have the background that you did working straight out of high school, which is awesome. So you had,
Mhm.
some years of experience you could go back on. But I'm curious throughout the interview process if you ever met any, objections or concerns about kind of your less orthodox or traditional background and maybe how you overcame that as well.
Oh man, I'm trying to think. I was definitely way over prepared for the interview. I mean, I had 5 papers of like notes and like questions and answers. Like every single question you guys gave in that YouTube video leading up to that, I wrote it down and wrote down my answer. And I was like way over the top prepared for the interview. It was quite funny. Actually showed my interviewer like all the notes that I had, and he was like, "Whoa." Um, but I think some of the more like unorthodox questions that I felt like I was pretty prepared for. I mean, you get the like, who are you? Why us? Like what brought you here? Man, I'm trying to think. I know I've got it in my notes somewhere, like all my 45 answers to my questions, but I think that you guys just pretty much helped get in that groove, get in that mindset of like um like of selling yourself, and like really digging in your resume and optimizing your resume is something that you guys also help with too, and just like being able to sell those key parts of who you are and why they should hire you you know
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And yeah, I love to see how much you made happen so quickly too. I guess just for everyone's reference too, from the time you joined higher levels to when you ultimately broke in, what was the rough timeline there?
Oh man, I think I joined, it was right at the end of the year. I started watching your YouTube videos and was just like watching them day in and day out, and I think by mid-January, I was fully convinced that I was going to be paying for the program, which I ended up paying for the program. And from like January to, what are we in now? We're already in April, to like mid-March. I was just like digging through the academy, just hammering it home, and then landed the first interview and felt like I was pretty much up to speed on everything. And then I just started drilling the interview videos and everything like that, and started getting all my notes and everything gathered.
I love it, man. And yeah, all power to you. I mean, it takes a lot to make this leap, and especially like, for somebody like yourself being in the position that you're in, just like, yeah, I have a lot of respect for people that just get super laser focused on like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and you just went hard at it. So I love that.
Yeah,
You were obviously, I think like over preparation is like, it's good to do in the beginning, because it's, I mean,
for sure.
and part, I like that you actually showed it to the interview as well, because that just shows that you're committed. It shows that you're
Yeah,
actually. So how many, or I guess like what was the hardest part about going through this entire process? Like what would you say like was the most challenging part about going through these interviews, navigating it, introspection? I guess what was the hardest part for you?
I think, you know, to break down the interview processes, they're not that hard. As long as you prepare for them, you're gonna be fine. I think the hardest part for me was I was just like always thinking like I'm not prepared enough. Like they're gonna ask me a question that I haven't gone over or like haven't asked myself and like figured it out, and I'm just gonna be staring at the screen like I don't know what to say. So I think that was the hardest part for me for sure. But honestly, when it came down to it, I was more than prepared, and ended up just absolutely crushing the interview process. I mean, uh, my interviewer actually, he called me to tell me I got the job, and he's like, "Dude, you blew that out of the water." And I was like, "What?" Like, really? He's like, "Dude, you blew that out of the water. Like, we'd love to have you." And I was like, "Send over the offer, and I'll send it back."
That's awesome.
Love the
I love
focus, eyes on the prize. Yeah, make sure that
Yeah,
DocuSign hits the inbox. Yeah.
yeah. I was like,
that. Send
"Send
the
the offer."
DocuSign. I love that, man. That's awesome. And I guess like now looking back at it all, like just maybe it's just like a wrap up here at the end. I guess like, do you have any tips for folks like who are in similar shoes as yourself, maybe considering tech
Mhm.
sales, considering a boot camp, tech sales ascension, or whatever else? If you could just go
Yeah.
back, give yourself some solid piece of advice, what would it be?
You know, if you're looking to make the leap into tech sales, I think it's a great, great opportunity. There's a lot of opportunities out there, but if you're gonna do it. Over prepare, have the 7 pages of notes when you're doing the interview, like make sure if you're gonna do it, you absolutely crush it. And it's like the only way you can do that is by putting in the hard work and the time. And if you carry that same work ethic over into this career, you're gonna crush it.
Nice. I love it, man. I love
Yeah,
it. Well, Justin, huge congrats to you again. We're super impressed, and we're obviously like super stoked to have you be part of the community still. Everybody loves your energy. We're just catching up with a couple of other students here the other day, and we're just talking about
yeah,
like how you're always so positive. You're always like
yeah.
just out there. So we're grateful that you chose higher levels, and I have no doubt you're going to absolutely crush it in tech sales. But really appreciate the time today, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to continuing to stay in the community and just let everybody know like what's going on. Am I dropping the ball when I say stupid things on the phone to a customer and letting know what I said, and sharing the wins as well. It's I'm just glad to be a part of the community with everybody.
I love it. I love it, man.